Hello, guys. Good evening. By Nigerian time, you're welcome to our live broadcast. This is a webinar that will focus in on how to choose a profitable business idea, holding with Osai Tresomokaro. As you join online, please leave a comment for us. Let's know you're there so we can welcome you officially. While we wait for people to join us, then we're just going to hit the ground running. The replay for this webinar is going to be available for a short while, but particularly will be sent to those who have registered for the webinar. So if you bump into this without registration, I'll still recommend that you follow the link and register. Anita, please, can you make the link available in the comment section? Is that possible? Or let me try to, okay. Okay. Yeah, the link to register for this webinar is also showing on the screen. Whether you're watching live now or you're watching the replay for this, there are going to be a lot of follow-up benefits that will come afterward, and those benefits will only be available to those who register. So we're making the link available right now so you can go ahead and register so you can get a series of benefits that come after this. We're just going to hit the ground running. Why are we doing this? You know, I work with young people. I mentor startups. I work with people with innovative ideas, and they come to me always sharing different ideas with me, you know. And sometimes because they are so passionate about this idea, they believe that every other person should be passionate just the way they are. But over time I've come to realize that the fact that you can build an idea or a product or a service doesn't necessarily mean that the customer wants it. So today we are spending time to go through a funnel that will help you understand whether or not this idea that you have is worth investing your time and energy in. Because that you have a very lofty idea doesn't mean it's worth all of the energy and time, because this process we're going to take through today is going to help us validate the idea and give you a heads up as to whether or not it is necessary for you to give all of your energy to this idea. How to choose a profitable business idea. Why this session? Why is this session very important? This session is very important for these reasons. Too many ideas in your head could keep you stuck to the extent that you don't even know where to start from. Too many, sorry, excuse me. Too many ideas in your head could keep you stuck that you won't even know where to start from. So it's important that you're able to funnel these ideas to know which to focus on, to know whether or not to discard it totally, or whether or not to give it all of the energy that it requires. As young entrepreneurs who see challenges everywhere, there is a tendency to try to solve them all as much as possible, especially because you have the competence and the capacity to do some things. You know, Thirdly, you could be a creative person, and because of that, you want to build product and services because they resonate with your competencies. You know, you may have enough money and you're thinking, how do I spread this money on various businesses so they can keep giving me return on investment? So because of that, you want to chunk your money on different ideas. There's also the need for you to focus and channel your energy for maximal efficiency. Then this session is also going to help you avoid wasted years of trial and errors. Why try and fail over and over for something that may never succeed? Yes, even though we don't We don't castigate failing because failing is a learning process in itself. But if you can have insight into what not to do and avoid the failure altogether, I think it will be better off than putting in all of the work, the energy, the time, and only to find out after years what you could have learned in this 1 hour of our time together. You know, some maybe you don't even know where to get an idea from and you don't even know how to start. So these are the reasons why we think that this session is very, very important. And at the end of this, you're going to find out that it was worth the while. So what do we have on the agenda for you? You're going to learn what's an idea, as simple as that may be, where ideas come from and steps to source for them or generate them. How to choose among many ideas that comes to you, because many ideas flood our hearts, especially if you are one who thinks entrepreneurially. Who's an entrepreneur? Entrepreneur is somebody that always seeks solution to problems wherever he finds them. So if you are such a person and you think from that perspective, you're going to keep having lots of ideas. You're going to keep having lots of ideas. But that you have this idea doesn't necessarily mean you need to spend all of your time, energy on it. So when you go through some things that we're going to be teaching today, you're going to realize whether it is even necessary to put in the time and the work. You know, sorry about that. So how to know if the idea in your head is even feasible? How to know if this idea is profitable? You know, because truth is, customers are the real validation of the viability of an idea. So we'll dig deeper into that. Then how to describe or pitch your ideas. Then finally, how to fund your ideas. These are the things we're going to be dealing with all through our session together. So I recommend that you subscribe to this channel if you're yet to. If you have, share this video. Let your friends get to engage with this video. Get them to subscribe to this channel. We always chunk out contents that will make your life and businesses better off. That's the reason why we exist. Okay, let's go on. So why do you need to trust me? Anybody could be doing this. So what validation do I have to be the one doing this, and why do you have to spend your time and energy watching this? Well, these are a few things I've done in the past. I operate a company that incubates startup businesses. That's Trescaro Systems and Solutions. Google us, Trescaro, you see a lot of what we've been doing. I manage South Innovation Hub, which is the federal government's business incubation that takes care of the South. So business incubation is something I do on a regular basis. I consult for private organizations, government agency, and work to empower startup businesses. So because of this work that I do, I encounter people with innovative ideas on a regular basis. So most times I even sit on the interview seat to engage people with innovative ideas so we can pre-qualify them for funding. I do this a lot. I work with over 200 young innovators to help them fine-tune their ideas, and many have accessed free funding. Because the truth is, I am the one that always say that there are more funding available to support business ideas that there are viable business ideas going for the funding. Sometimes you hear people complain a lot that I have an idea, but there's no money. I have an idea, there's no money. No, that's funny. Why some of them may feel justified and they will only approve those who also clap for them and clamor for what they're clamoring for. But some of us choose to differ, not because we just want to be negative, not because we just want to be overtly positive, but because we're talking from our own experiences. I've started many businesses from scratch and sit on the board of so many other businesses, which are innovative startup ideas that I have contributed in building from the scratch. Some of them have gotten funding even while their business ideas were still on paper. So these things are possible. It's something that we have done over and over. And we are doing what we're doing now to get this message to many people so that they can enjoy what we are enjoying. So I also mentor for the Tony Elumelu Foundation since 2018. I'm an alumni of the Tony Elumelu Foundation. I got their 5,000 naira grant to support my business in 2017. It was a lofty one. And I believe that this can happen to anybody. So these are my own qualifications that I think pre-qualifies me to be teaching about this, because I'm not going to just be teaching you about things I read from book. I'm going to be teaching you about my experiences and how they have worked. So let's go in and hit the ground running. First, what's an idea? What's an idea? Because I hear people come around and say, sir, that idea is my idea. The idea is my idea. It makes no difference. It makes no difference. Have you not sat down at some point in time? You have an idea, you refuse to do anything about it, only for you to come out in another 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and you see somebody else has fully worked on that idea, and the idea is everywhere. So that you have an idea is nothing. It's nothing. A business idea is simply a mental concept of a solution to an envisaged or experienced problem. It's a mental concept of a solution to an envisaged or an experienced problem. You may have either experienced the problem or you are envisaging that problem. So now you have a mental concept on how to deal with that problem. you know. So that's simply what a business idea is. And it practically means nothing until you do some of the things we're going to be sharing now. Because I've had people run around with an idea for years, run around with an idea for years, and yet that you got the idea doesn't really qualify you to earn anything from it, except you do the needful, as we will be sharing as we go ahead. So where do ideas come from? Because I'm sure when you look at where ideas come from, you're going to know that these things are not open to you alone. Every right thinking person that thinks of solution rather than problems, that envisaged how it can be a part of the solution and not the complainant, any right thinking person with an entrepreneurial disposition to life. Entrepreneurial disposition to life doesn't necessarily mean you must be an entrepreneur. Excuse me, sorry. You don't need to be an entrepreneur to have an entrepreneurial disposition to life. An entrepreneurial disposition to life is a life that consistently thinks solution. It's a life that sees opportunities where many see complaints. It's a life that seeks to be a part of the solution and not part of the complainant. An entrepreneurial mindset knows that for everything that is not working, it is an opportunity to contribute and an opportunity to earn. So if you are somebody that is working with that disposition, with that mindset, you're going to find out that you always we have ideas. Excuse me. So ideas come from our experiences. Ideas come from our experiences. A negative experience of a product or a service may inspire you to want to do something about it. Because having experienced something negative about a service or a product, and you have the mental disposition that we've just talked about, the very first thing that crops up in your heart is, what can I do to change this? If I'm experiencing this, it means a lot of persons are experiencing the same. So what can I do to ensure that I solve these problems for people? I had a session recently with a phenomenal lady, and she was sharing about how to author a book. And she shared something outstanding, as simple as it is, but outstanding. He said, when you are researching about books, he said, go for those ones that have 1 star rating. Ordinarily, the best of the best products get 5 star rating. He said, no, go for those ones that have 1 star rating. Why? Because the fact that it has one star rating, it means that people are disgruntled. It means that people are dissatisfied with what the book carries. He said that lacuna, that gap gives you a reason to write about that same topic. You see that? Because people are dissatisfied, it gives you a reason to solve those dissatisfactions. So our experiences with businesses, our experiences with services open us up to innovative ideas, especially if the solution falls within your competencies on something that you can easily take care of. So ideas come from our experiences. Ideas come from our expertise. Sorry about that. You may develop expertise in a field of knowledge and decide to build a business from it and decide to build a product or a service from it. As lofty as this is, it's great. But when we get to the criteria for validating the idea, you're going to be able to check those criteria against these sources of ideas. Because you have an expertise in something, it's natural for you to want to build a product or a service based on what you have expertise on. That's natural. You know, Ideas come from our educational background. If you study medicine, you consistently think about how to build products and services related to medical services. Yes. If you study engineering, you want to build products and services related to engineering. That's because that's where your educational background is. That's natural. It's natural. So ideas come from our educational background. Ideas come from divine inspiration. Yes, you could wake up to an idea dropping in your spirit. It comes from God. And like I always tell people, you are one of the children of God. You are not necessarily the favorites. We are all the favorite children of God. So when God drops an idea in your heart, it's not necessarily for you. Whatever God does is to better the life of his people. So when God drops an inspiration, an idea in your heart, the goal that God has in mind is to ensure that this idea betters humanity. And part of what I've come to realize is the fact that when God drops an idea with you, at that same time, he drops the same idea with a lot of his children. Yes, he does the same. He drops the same idea with a lot of his children. So while one is dilly-dallying, the other one is running scatter to see how this idea can become a reality. That's why you could have an idea before you keep procrastinating over it. You see somebody else executing that same idea. Sorry. That's because the idea doesn't necessarily belong to you. It comes from God for the purpose of delivering humanity. So ideas come from divine inspiration. Ideas could even come from suggestions and imposition. Yeah, some people may know your expertise, they know your experiences, and they could suggest ideas to you on what you should do. Some, by reason of where you work, there could be an imposition. We have to do this. It may not be something you're palatable with, but because you have to be obedient, because you have to follow the rules and the protocols of the office, you begin to work on it, only for you to see how big it is. And it could even take you even beyond the company you're working for. So sometimes ideas could be suggested, sometimes ideas could even be imposed. But the major thing is that when you eventually work on the idea, the big picture is you enjoy the rip-off from this idea, and humanity becomes better for it. You know, Ideas come from interaction and deliberate engagement with people. As you interact with people, as you engage with people, you get to know them better. Then you begin to think about ideas begin to prop up within your spirit on how you can solve their problem. Remember, the key to all of these is that entrepreneurial mindset. That entrepreneurial mindset. Because if you don't have that entrepreneurial mindset, irrespective of all we're teaching, you keep emphasizing the problems. That's why some persons all they see is the fact that, oh, is it not Nigeria? Forget it. Even if you have an idea, no money to fund it. And because this is the consistent message in their head, even when they have the best of idea, they never get funded. You know. So as you engage with people and deliberately interact with people, ideas crop up within your spirit. Then how do you choose one among these many ideas that flood your heart? Ideas come to every one of us on a regular basis. It comes from the various sources that we've discussed. You know, how do you choose one to focus on during a particular time? So I've had people sit down with me to say, Sir, I have a lot of ideas. I don't know what to do. I don't know which to start with. I don't know which to focus on. You know, the answers come after now. First, measure the idea with your competencies. Before now we talked about the fact that ideas come from the area of your competencies. Why is it important to measure the idea with the area of your competence? You can't come up with an idea that you don't know anything about its implementation. It means from the very start, you need external support. That's part of what makes people feel frustrated when they have an idea and they can't get a way to start at all. For me, for instance, business development is my core competence. So I practically can start any business without any funding. We're going to be doing a series, we're going to be doing a session where we'll focus on how to start business without money. One of the things I realized in doing that is the fact that you must first become the attraction, then build integrity. Even when it comes to the funding space, people fund integrity. People fund integrity. So let's get back to what we were saying. Measure the idea with your area of core competence. Measure the idea with your area of core competence. Do I have the expertise? Ask yourself this question. Do I have the expertise to start it without any external support? If the idea requires a lot that you don't have, it may be a good idea, but it may not be for you and it may be for the wrong timing. So measure the idea with your core competencies. Then measure the idea with your experience or passion. I come to realize that your experience in a particular field makes it easier for you to navigate any challenges in that field. If this idea coming to you resonates with your area of experiences and passion, you're going to find out that because this is an area that you have a whole lot of experience in, it's going to be easy for you to navigate things. It's going to be easy for you to sort things out because you are well experienced in this field. And another thing is that when you have passion for something, the ways to solve problem in that area becomes open to you. Compassion helps you see solution where others are not seeing solution because it is your passion. It is your passion. So if this idea resonates with your passion, and come, don't tell me, oh, I'm passionate about it, but I just still can't find a way. You're not passionate about it. Should I shock you? You're passionate about eating every day, and there has been no one day that you did not eat. When you got passionate about buying that particular phone you're using, you got it. When you got passionate, you don't even need a passion to say I must wear clothes. But you're wearing clothes. People always ask me, where do I get the initial capital to start? Because you must do the initial work before you become attractive to others. I tell them the same place you get money to eat, the same place you get money to fund yourself daily, that's the same place you get money to start. And when I mean start, I don't mean starting big. I still have encounter with young people today who have time, who have energy, who have expertise, some of them with BSc. And you say, what do you do now? They tell you nothing. It's amazing. It's amazing. With technology, with things that young people sit down in one country and they are working in another country, being paid in foreign currencies, and somebody, an adult, will tell you nothing. And they expect that you should organize some pity parties for them. So measure that idea if it resonates with your experiences and your passion. Because if the idea comes to you within the space of your experiences, you can always navigate through all of the issues. If it comes in the area of your passion, if it resonates with your passion, with ease, you can sort out things that you're passionate about. Measure the idea with the level of attention you can give to it. This is very important. Because of the kind of work I do, I have people come up to me to say, sir, I can't pay you, but I am thinking that we can partner. Bring up your services, you take a stake in my business, and all of that. They come to me every day. I even have my personal ideas. I run two companies at the same time at the moment. I have like three others that I have put on hold because of the attention it may require that I may not be able to give to it until I'm able to hire people who can give it that attention. So that an idea seems viable doesn't necessarily mean you should jump into it if you cannot give it the attention that it requires. No matter how good an idea is, it cannot succeed without the necessary attention. I was in a session with somebody yesterday, and some persons were asking questions. After she responded, one of them said, I'm just afraid that this thing is going to take my time. And she said, who is going to succeed in what doesn't take your time? You can't succeed until you give your time to it. Yes, no matter how viable you think the idea is, it can never be a success until you give your time to it. So you must give your time to it. That's the key. That's the idea. You must give your time to it. If you don't give your time to it, it dies. So don't even bother to start if you don't have time to give to it. If you are still on your 9 to 5 job and you have a lofty idea, just understand that you have to work on that idea with much time that you have and strategize how this idea can help you jump out of your 9 to 5 job. Because nothing that takes a second class attention can give you a first class value. Nothing you give a second class attention to can give you a first class value. I've had people reach out to me and they talk about the fact that, but this is just my side also. I say, as good as that sound in people's ears, side hustle, side hustle, side hustle, but the truth is, it's a distraction. It's a distraction. If you can't give it all the time that it deserves, please don't bother. Especially if you now want to build it. Recently, we just learned that Stripe just bought over Paystack for $200 million. The young men that started Paystacks couldn't have been doing Paystack part time and working in one ministry or working in one oil company because the oil company is paying, you know. So that is it. If you give it the necessary attention in a particular time frame, it becomes the major attraction. It pays off in the long run, but it must get the attention it needs in the short run. So if the idea is lofty, but you don't have the time and energy to give to it, my brother, my sister, don't bother. So measure the idea with the doctrine of realism. I work with a lot of startup innovative guys, especially the tech guys, because they have this competency in building some of these things. They just want to build it. If the idea is not realistic or if it's going to take a lot of knowledge from the side of the users before they can even use it. It's not necessary, because you're going to spend a whole lot of energy trying to educate the people before they can even use the idea. I used to ask this question the very first time you use WhatsApp. Did they ask you to share? You saw the value and you shared it. So that's how it works. You saw the value and you shared it. Please, if you're watching and you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please do us a favor, do yourself a favor, subscribe to this channel, then share this video, get your friends to subscribe. By this video alone, we would have succeeded in helping a lot of our young people to overcome the many wasted years that they could have put in building around an idea that is not necessarily feasible. What we're doing now is to help rescue time for people, to rescue that time. It is necessary that we rescue that time. You know, if you are yet to also register for this webinar, because after a few days, this webinar is not going to be available for you except you register. Except you register. So please go ahead and follow the link below there and register for the webinar so you can get the replay sent to you by an email. And there are a lot of other freebies that will follow after now. So go ahead and register. This webinar is going to be open for a few days, after which it will be off the free session. So let's go ahead, measure the idea with realism. Realism. If an idea is not realistic, you are only passionate about it, others can't see the need for it. Come on. Idea is as good as what the customer says about it. It's not about you. Remember, the idea is not about you. That you have the capacity to build it doesn't mean you should. That the customers want it is the only reason why you should be focusing on that idea. Okay, measure the idea with the cost implication and availability of same. Every idea is going to cost some things. Money is major for a lot of persons, but I always say this: the reason you need money is not to consume. You have an idea, you need money because there are things to be done. you know. But I used to do this summation. If you need to join the army, as much as the army needs a gun, what they need first is training, knowledge, expertise. Haven't been trained, then they are given the gun. It's amazing that when people think about business, they think they need the money first. I said measure this idea with the cost implication and the availability of sale. Sometimes the costs of the business may not necessarily be money. There are a lot of businesses that we can start without money. We're going to do a session on that. We're going to do a session on that. Businesses you can start without money, how you can become the attraction and the money comes running after you. But this is not just something that you're going to do folding your arms. You must become the attraction. You must build yourself to become the attraction. Then people begin to say, if it is this person, I'm in. So the costs of implementing this idea may require that you do some business documentation, may require that you have some expertise work with you. You could be a tech person, you could need a business developer, you could be a business developer and you need the technology to drive the business. All of these are the reasons why you need the money. But there are alternative ways of funding these same things. Yes, there are alternative ways of funding these same things. You know, like I always say, it is better to have 10% of a billion business than to have 100% of nothing. Some persons say this idea is lofty, this idea is going to take us places, this idea is heavy, but I must do it by myself. Just give me the money. Sorry, nobody does that. Just give me the money. Nobody does that. People are willing to be a part of something big. I'm sure we will get to strategies for pitching and describing your ideas. You're going to learn how to do this. You know, your idea could be so lofty that people lobby to be a part of it. I have young men within my network coming to me to discuss. This person is offering 2 million, the other one is offering 10 million, the other one is offering this. I ask, what else are they coming on board with? It's not just the money, because these are some of the things you need. But these ideas are attracting those level of attention because they have done some level of the work. So the cost here might just be the expertise. The cost here might just be the time, the energy. You must be willing to burn the midnight candle. You must be willing to invest in yourself. You must be willing to pay to learn what you need. Some persons have decided to be the trumpet for poverty. I don't have is always their message. In fact, somebody said yesterday that freebies are for newbies. And newbies don't go far in business. If you have not paid 100,000 naira to train yourself, you practically cannot feel justified to charge somebody 100,000 naira. You know, these are things we have been hearing over and over. Sometimes we think they are cliches. Is it surprising that when you put out a product there for 5,000, people are not buying because you've never bought a product for 5,000? You've never invested 5,000 to train yourself, and you think you have enough for people to pay 5,000 to buy? No, you're joking. The life is actually about seed, time, and harvest. Whatever seed you have not sown, you can't reap. Whatever seed you have not sown, you can't reap. This is not an opportunity for me to blow my trumpets. Otherwise, I'll tell you a lot of investment I've done before I get to where I am now. And because I believe that what I'm doing is for young people, I charge far less than what I think I should be charging because they call me the father of startups for a reason. I believe that's because I have something that resonates with fathering. I'm somebody that believes that business also have ministry side to it. Business have ministry side to it. It's my ministry to be able to impact young people with innovative ideas. So, and of course, I pay the cost of not earning as I should, but I am beginning to reap the benefits of that. Some of the persons I worked for years who couldn't pay me 2,000, who couldn't pay me 3,000. Some of them are patronizing my business in hundreds of thousands today. Some of them are patronizing my business in millions today because I invested that time. That's my own ministry. I see it as a call to ministry. You understand? Sorry for that digression. I felt it was necessary. Then measure the idea with the cost implication and the availability of same. So, how to ascertain the validity of this idea? This is the core of this message. This is the core of all that we've been talking about. The most potent validation for your idea is the customer's voice. What are the customers saying? After somebody will say, but my idea has not been launched. No, it doesn't have to have been launched before you can hear the voice of the customers. In fact, there's a free ebook that will be given to those that register as part of the freebies that goes with registering for this session. Like, like and subscribe to this channel. But above that, follow the link that is scrolling there, or we'll put that same link. Okay, the link is also on the bio, the description. Follow the link down and register so we can have your email and be able to send you the replay for this session because it's not going to be available for long. And also send you that ebook that talks about how to turn your idea into a business. How to turn your idea into a business. You know, so customer validation is key. It was Mike Tyson that said everybody have a plan before they get to the pitch. But during the boxing round, only a punch bounce off all of the plans from your head. In the world of business, the guys with this punch are the customers. And the customers do something. They speak with their money. You can't ascertain the viability of an idea without hearing from the customers. There's what is called problem-centric entrepreneurship. I will love to do this. I am doing this. We are working on this. You're talking about it from the solution perspective. When you begin to talk about the people are going through this and we are working to see how we can ameliorate this by reason of our engagement with these people, this is what we have found out that the real problem is. Let me tell you some of the things I'm sharing with you now. I have gone through it. I got an idea. For me, that idea I believe came from God. Because of how long he spent with me, I didn't do anything about it. I got this idea walking on the streets and I spoke it on my phone, recorded it on a voice note. For 2 years, I didn't act on it. I finished building a business plan for a lady and we started reviewing it. So as she was itemizing some things that we need to correct and modify and all of that, I said, okay, all these things you're itemizing, let's record them. I put up my telephone and we recorded it. So I got back to my office trying to work on the business plan. I started playing the recordings. I eventually got done with those recordings. The very next recording I played was the same idea I recorded 2 years ago. At this point in time, I was managing a place that have young, innovative, tech savvy young guys. I pushed the idea to one of them to work on it. As they started to work on it, an opportunity for funding came within the same period. This idea, as we speak, has gotten close to 2 million naira in support, all from the scratch. But the thing is, as we went ahead and began to engage with customers, we started to modify to suit the customer's need. Because the customers will punch you in the face when the idea does not meet what they need. Why they simply think they are going somewhere else. So that is it. You must be looking at what the customers are saying. You must be hearing what the customers are saying. That's the focus. That's the goal. Because without them, the idea dies. So the number one validation for your idea is the customer. People are going through this. So because of that, we are working on this. What the customer says stands because they talk with their money. Then another thing you must look at is that what's the size of the market for this problem you're trying to solve? Why solve a problem that only 200 people are going through? And of course, you are not the only one solving that problem. First, one of the things you must know is that the problem that you think is generating the ideas that you want to solve has been there for a while, and these same people have been solving it one way or the other. So the problem, excuse me, the problem has to be big enough. The market, the people going through this have to be much so that you are certain that even if I get 10% of this market, I will still be profitable. Remember what we're dealing with here now is how to choose a profitable business idea. How to choose a profitable business idea, not just how to chunk out an idea and run away with it. If it's not profitable, all of your time, energy, and funds sinks down the drain. You see what I'm saying? So the size of the market, the size of the people going through this problem matters a whole lot to whether or not this idea is worth giving all of their attention and energy to. Then how desperately do they want this problem solved? Do you know that there are problems that people have and they are ready to live with it? So imagine you try to solve problems that people are ready to cope with because it's not really a big deal. They can live with it, you know, because they have to be desperately in need of a solution before they can part with money. They have to be desperately in need of solution before they can part with money. The idea I just talked about just now, that's one of the businesses that we run. It's a waste recycling, it's a waste aggregation app that we have built. The way we envisaged it before, we paused that and we're beginning to do what the customers want. And at this point in time, the customers are begging us with money. Why? Because we have the solution to their problem. So when you're solving a problem in a large market with more people suffering from it, and these same people are desperate enough to solve the problem, you are with the right idea in the right market at the right time. How are they currently solving this problem? This will help you take a look at your competitors because whatever problem you're solving now, these people are already solving it in one way or the other. They are already solving it. So you need to be thinking, how are they solving it? How are they solving it? Because the way they are solving it now is what you want to correct. Because if you think they are not solving it the right way, then you want to look at the gaps in the way they are solving it and try to do it better. You know, like I said, concerning a notion that was shared by a professional yesterday that talked about the fact that when you're looking, not yesterday, a few weeks back, that when you're looking, researching a book idea to write on, he said when you get on Amazon, look for those books that are having 1 star rating. That is where the gaps is. That's where the gaps are, brother. Go for such books, look for the gaps, write your own book to deal with those gaps. That's understanding your competitors. People are already solving these problems. You need to study these people, find out how they are solving these problems, and do something better than the way they're currently solving this problem. That's the only way you can have a chance. That's why no solution is perfect. You know why? Because even the people we are serving, their desires are constantly changing. Continual engagement. In fact, the ebook that we're going to be sending to you for free when you register for this training is going to help you really take your idea through a funnel to building a business. Some of the things I'm sharing now will be taking deeper in that book. So if you are here to register, follow the link and register. If you are here to subscribe to this channel, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, share with your family members. In fact, we have a lot of videos on this channel that will help you clarify a lot in your heart. You know, so that is that. Then how to describe or pitch your idea. No matter how good the idea is, having validated the idea, you must continually talk about the idea. Joseph had a dream. Some person said Joseph was too mouthy. That's why he went through all he went through. But the truth is, you have to be mouthy about your idea. If you don't blow your trumpet, nobody's going to do that. You must keep pitching, keep describing your ideas on a daily basis. Describing your idea and pitching your idea is something you do daily. It's something you do daily. It's not something that you can sublet to somebody else. Yes, you could have your team members doing whatever they need to do on various social media handles and all of that, but you must keep talking to people about your idea. You will pitch your ideas to investors, to customers, to partners, to your staff, to your friends and your family. Do you know that before people decide to come work for you, they want to be sure they are in for something big? Because nobody wants to come up to say, I have a job today and tomorrow is knocked out. He doesn't have a job again because your idea has failed. So you must be able to pitch the idea to even your staff or your would-be staff for them to see that there is need for me to pitch my tent here. There is need for me to hang on here. Investors want to hear about your ideas. Customers want to hear about your ideas. Partners want to. Friends want to. Families want to. So you must know how to pitch your ideas to customers. We're just going to take 3 steps on that. First, pitch to capture their hearts. That's emotion. Pitch to capture their hearts. This is where storytelling comes in. Stories that make them see what is happening, the number of people affected, and how your solution is working to help tackle these problems. You know, I was a part of the founding members of the telemedicine business, and our key person, we always start by talking about the number of people that malaria kills in Nigeria per seconds. How the fact that just SMS could have saved these hundreds of thousands of lives if we could bring medical services to people just through SMS. And when he's finished telling that story, it helps you to just think about it that those people that died could have been your children. When you hear this, you are connected. Your heart is in it. You just want to hear more. You just want to know more. You just want to hear more. You know, tell stories. It could be personal experiences. It could be personal experiences. In fact, he also have a second story that's personal. How he got accidented and for 12 hours never got treated. That idea alone has taken him around the world. Has taken him around the world. Because whenever he talks about it, investors are interested. Because it resonates with their consciousness, it resonates with their emotions. You know. So that is that pitch to capture their hearts, their emotion. Once their emotion is with you, then go ahead to pitch to capture their head. People get connected to you emotionally, but they take decisions logically, especially when it has to do with something that is long term. Yes, of course, for some of these little things, we'll tell you that people buy based on emotion. Yes, people could afford to buy something of 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 out of emotionalism. But when it comes to somebody wanting to invest 2 million, 3 million, maybe even in dollars, these persons want to take time to validate some of the figures, you know, and that is what we're talking about. You know, this is where you begin to talk about the size of the market, the number of people going through this problem, how your solution is unique enough to get people to do more, and solve this problem, how your solution, when fully deployed, will generate you income. Because truth is, these guys are not coming here to support you. They are not necessarily coming here because they love you. They are coming here because they want to make profits. They come in here because they want to make profits. So I will capture them emotionally. You must justify that in logic. Let their head begin to see the numbers. In fact, I would recommend that we all go search for Shark Tank. Shark Tank is an American TV show where they do a lot about interacting with people with ideas who come to talk to investors, and people get millions of dollars signed up for them on the spot. you know. So that is that. Haven't gotten their hearts, go for their head, then capture their hand. That's when you seek for the support. That's when you specify what you need and what you need will be spent on and what the return on that investment will be. Investors don't like vagueness. They don't like vagueness. They want things to be specific. They want things to be open. So that is very, very important. Go for their hearts, go for their head, then go for their hand. These are the theory steps. Of course, if we have to take this at a deeper level, we could spend another 1 hour talking about this. Maybe we're going to create more sessions on this, on how to pitch your business ideas. Because these are trainings we do for people sometimes for 1 week, 2 weeks, to prepare them to engage with investors. Because we've had to do this for a lot of young persons with investors coming to hear them out. And some persons came on board who could not even speak. But today, some of them have enough funding and they are doing well because they took this time to learn what we're sharing today. So it is very important. You may not see the value now, but I guarantee you, in a short while, if you begin to take your ideas through some of these things that we have shared, you're going to see lots of values. You're going to see things changing. Some of the persons that are attracting the funding we're talking about, they're not doing magic. They are simply following these same principles. They are simply following these same principles. One of the things young people must understand is that times are changing. Times are changing. Technology has come to play. But truth be, some very vital principles of success are not changing. Yes, they're not changing. In fact, it's easier now when you follow this same principle, you make more impact, make more money, but those principles must be followed. The fact that you are in Nigeria, you can easily reach somebody in the UK, you are in Nigeria, you can. The fact that things are quicker now doesn't mean that success will jump steps. You must pay the price. I used to tell people if you know that you must pass your primary school before you go to the university or to the secondary school, for those of us in Nigeria, before you think about going to the university, why waste time? Why not just quickly start? Because that is how it is in business. Every time you waste now, you're going to pay for it. So why not start on time so you can get there on time? There's the 10,000 hour rules that is widely talked about, whether you like it or not. For every person who have invested that 10,000 hours in whatever they are doing, their success is showing. So if you know that you're going to spend 10,000 hours before you can become one of the top class in your industry, why not start on time? Why not start on time? Sorry, this is a bit digressional, but I think it is necessary. So let's get back. Then pitch with time in mind. That is why it is called the elevation pitch. The idea behind that name, elevation pitch, is the fact that you must be able to craft your idea in your head in a way that you can run through it in 30 seconds or 1 minute. Get this, the idea of a pitch presentation is not to say everything you need to say. There is only one goal for a pitch presentation, is to get the opportunity to sit down and say more. So imagine if you are fortunate to be on the lift with an investor you've been looking for all your life, and this lift is going to drop him in 30 seconds. What can you tell him that will make him turn to you and give you his card? That's what we're talking about. What can you tell him that will make you say, wow, I think we need to talk more about it, and tell his PA, take his card, get his number, he needs to come to the office. That is the only goal of a pitch presentation. So don't try to say everything you need to say. No, focus on the heart, the head, and the hand. A short story of 10 seconds, uh, 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 a dissection of the market, the size of the market, the number of people suffering, the solution you are offering, and how financially viable it is at the end of it, then the amount you need, what the amount is needed for, and how profitable it will be when that amount is eventually invested. This guy is looking for more places to plug his money and gain more. So when you tell him this, he or she invites you for a deeper conversation. That's the goal. You need that time for a deeper conversation, you know. Then finally, funding the idea. I've done all of this, even though we've leaped into a little bit about funding the idea by talking about a pitch presentation. But we've done an extensive work on this and that work is in a book titled Funding Your Business Idea. So I think we also have a webinar that we did on this, funding your business idea, where we took steps to go through all of that. The webinar is not yet on our YouTube page, but it's on our Facebook group and it's on our Facebook handle. I will also appeal that you connect to our Facebook group. Our Facebook group, in fact, in our Facebook group, we do more of this content. Even this webinar is going to be posted there for people to engage with it. For the few days it's going to be available before we pull it down. So join our Facebook group is the Enterprise Development Academy. Just search for it, Enterprise Development Academy on Facebook. Let me put it on the banner for you to see on Facebook. Sorry, I don't have the link here. Our Facebook group, Enterprise Development Academy. Okay, Enterprise Development Academy. Search for that group on Facebook and just join. There are lots of contents like this that takes various aspects of businesses and diversify it and give us access to deeper knowledge. So for the book, we are currently still on pre-order, and there are a lot of values that goes with the pre-ordering. We are giving some. If you look deeply, you're going to see okay, okay, it's not big enough, it's not wide enough. Okay, can you see this? There are a lot of freebies that goes with it. But basically, what you should do is just follow trescaro.com/links, then click on books place order place order for the book. It will open you up to a whole lot of opportunities. In fact, we've really not been saying a lot about this book. This book have over 100 links to grant opportunities. Over 100 links where you can access grants. By grants, we're talking about free money to support your business. This book we're selling have over 100 links where you can access free funding. And that link, we're going to keep updating it. We're going to keep updating it as we keep getting more links, as we keep getting more information about grant opportunity, we're going to keep updating that link. One of the reasons why you need the ebook is the fact that this book have links within it that will give you access to more resources. That's why you can't wait for somebody to buy and share with you, because only those that buys it can access those extra resources. For instance, we're talking about a link that gives you access to over 100 grant opportunity. These things are available only to those that buys the book from the right source, not those that wait to steal it by sharing with others. Even though we will not stop anybody from sharing the book, we will not stop anybody from sharing the book, but there are a lot of benefit that goes with the book that you may not be able to access except you buy the book from source, because all of those other opportunities come directly to your email because you bought it from source. And some are just locked off, but you can access it with the email with which you bought the book. So it's recommended, highly recommended for you. It will ease your stress of having to fund your business. So we may not be able to do another seminar where we're talking about funding your business. We've done that webinar before. It's on our Facebook group. Join that Facebook group, Enterprise Development Academy. When you join that group, you're going to be able to access that link. It's still open. We didn't pull it down, but we may be pulling it down very soon and bringing it into our YouTube channel. You know, so we want people who love these values to come for them. That's the idea. Thank you so much for spending this time. We believe that the time we spent together has been worth it. Feel free to reach out to us. That's our phone number, that's our email address there. Contact@trescaro.com. Follow all our social media handles on Trescaro Systems at Trescaro Systems. All our social media handles: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Okay, I think those are the basic three social media handles we are very vibrant on. On LinkedIn at Trescaro, at Trescaro. Then all of my personal handles are at Trescaro, but the business handles are at Trescaro Systems. So follow anyone that suits you. Basically, I recommend a business handle, but I do a lot of personal things that may not be related to my business, you know. So if you want to enjoy part of the fun and all of those things I do, you can also follow my social media handle, my personal social media handles at Trescaro. I'm a business person, but I also believe I'm a servant of God. So I do some things that relates to my call from God. So that's, you could see in my personal business is my personal handles. You As I engage, how I live my life daily, you see all of that in my personal handles. Because I believe that success is replicable. Success is replicable. And I'm one of those that tell people that the depth of your wisdom is measured in the quality of peace you enjoy and the size of your pockets. That you have lots of money doesn't mean you're wise. If you are so rich and yet you are always afraid without peace, that's not wisdom. Wisdom will give you lots of money, no dispute. But money that comes through wisdom comes with peace. The Bible says it's a blessing of the Lord that makes rich and has no sorrow. Thank you. Before I get to preaching, I think we've come to the end of this webinar. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel and go ahead and share this video. Let's make it go viral. Let's get more persons to watch this video. But if you did not register, maybe you got a notification because you've subscribed to this channel before, please follow the link that is scrolling behind, or go through the description of this message and follow that link to register. We have some freebies that we are sending to people who have registered. There's no other way to send it to you if we are not within our email list. So thank you so much for spending this time with us. We hope we're going to do this again, hopefully by the first week of November. Thank you so much. I will be coming up with something attractive, something relatable, something inclusive, and something that's going to better your business. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's always my pleasure to be with you. Have a great day. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your comment. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Please feel free to drop questions for us. Feel free to drop questions for us. If you're watching the replay, send your questions to us through email. You have our email address. Send your questions to us through email, and we'll be obliged to respond to you. In fact, send more questions, send more topics you think we can talk about. Thank you.